Good to be back and practicing. And how'd your bye week go? What'd you focus on?
Yeah, great to be back. Really good energy today. Felt refreshing. Had some time off, and then everybody was just excited to get back to work. So just took a lot of time self-scout, and just going to improve on things we need to improve on these next 4 weeks.
What are you looking to try to accomplish these last 4 weeks?
Win.
That simple for you?
Yeah, win 4 games. Take it one at a time.
When you say self-scout, everyone always says we self-scout. I mean, what does that mean for you? Do you go back on everything and look and analyze and all that? What does it mean?
Yeah, you just have conversations, with the coaching staff. We're all able to have that extra time to watch, all the games back, all the reps back, and just try to find, those things where maybe you're making a few of similar mistakes. Maybe there's, past concepts that you need to improve at. So, during that time, you just work on those things and, just making sure, your mechanics are in the right spot. So you get a little extra time to, not really worry about game planning and take the time on the field to, walk through your mechanics, based on, different actions or whatever it may be. So, definitely I felt like it was beneficial.
Every snap you look at?
Yeah, you go back and watch every step.
Did you watch any of the games on Sunday, Jaxson?
Yeah, I did.
And if so, what are you watching them for entertainment, or are you trying to pick little things out of it that could potentially help you down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I love to watch that that Cincinnati and Bills game. There's a lot of quarterbacks around the league who do a lot of really good things and who have been balling this year. So it feels good to watch those guys, kind of see the things that they're exceptional at, lead at, and try to correlate some of their traits into your own game.
When you're watching and talking about all the improvements you kind of want to make for yourself, what did you watch back and what were you happy with?
I felt like my decision making's been pretty good. Not putting the ball in harm's way, and situationally, felt like I didn't really try to force things too much. I kind of just try to let the game come to me, and so I was happy with that. I was happy with our offense. I don't feel like we take a ton of negative plays, so those were good things, and felt like obviously the Patriots game was a tough one, but I feel like as an offense we've been able to be pretty explosive and do some good stuff. So those were definitely things that I was happy about when I look back on it.
What's your he's not playing this week, but what's your relationship like with Jaden? I know you've mentioned him a couple of times. I think you guys said you've trained with him in the past.
Yeah, me and Jaden have the same quarterback coach, so really it's just since high school we've been training together.
So what's your relationship like? Are you friends, competitors? How would you describe it?
Both. I mean, on the football field we're always competing, but we have a really good relationship off the field, and he has a great family, so it's been fun to kind of have our journeys cross paths along the way of us playing in the Pac-12 together back then, and then carrying over to the SEC, and then obviously just in the off season spend a lot of time just training and just kicking it off the field as well. So he's a great dude, a great player, and it's gonna be fun to compete against him again.
I was gonna say, how much are you looking forward to? It's gonna be next year now, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be playing against each other a lot these next coming years. So, just fun to, have that competition.
I would think that game you played against him in 2023 has got to be a highlight, I would think, for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. That was a really fun game for us at Ole Miss. That's one that me and Malik talk about a lot too. And, they got us in 2022. So we've been able to go back and forth and have some fun games.
We never asked you, but what did you think of the whole, it was big news, the whole Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss and not being able to coach the bowl game. What did you think of that whole thing? Yeah,
crazy. I think with Kiff, he kind of does some things that are unexpected. But, I'm looking forward to, his next opportunity. And, me and him just have such a great relationship. And so, I know for him that he's going to put his best foot down and do some really great things for that program, and I'm definitely excited for him. I'm also really happy for Ole Miss of keeping Coach Golding at the helm there, and I was also just happy that they're able to keep their offensive staff being able to come back and coach the rest of the playoff. I felt like that'd be kind of I don't know, just like a disrespect a little bit to not let those guys finish it out, and really happy to see they're excited to see their run for a national championship this year.
It's been a while since you've had a division game. I think the last one was the Eagles, I believe. So how are you feeling kind of going into another division opponent, knowing that obviously tensions are going to be a little bit more heightened a little bit?
Yeah, these games are huge. So really excited to get back to it. Obviously, you watch the first game and see how, each team has adjusted, us and them, up until this point. So it's going to be a game of chess for sure, and it's going to be really good energy.
Can you even go back to that first game, knowing how both teams are so different now? Like, can you even look at that game and take much from it?
There's maybe, a few things you definitely want to watch, like, where did they get us in spots? Because, those are things that more than likely they're going to try to come back to. So you got to be able to make sure you're prepared and correct those things. And then, you got to definitely watch probably a lot more of their most recent games. So that's kind of the balance between them.
Jaxson, you've spoken a lot about your leadership. I mean, really, from the first time you stepped in the locker room, let alone starting. I'm just curious, when you come back from the bye, do you take more of the role, look around the locker room, see what guys are into it, maybe what guys might need a little talking to, that kind of role for you now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's extremely important, and, it's really required for us to make sure that we, these last 4 games really put our best foot down. And, you preach around that, like, your resume is your tape. And so making sure that everybody has the right mindset, the right attention to detail to everything when it comes to their process. And, I just think it's extremely important to take these weeks one by one, but to be very detailed and disciplined in our approach.
Do you get that same sense from some of your older teammates? They're pretty much all older teammates to you, who've been through this before, and kind of it's all fresh and new to you, even with the losing. But some of these guys that are down and they may not be here next year, that you have to convince them. Look, you mentioned just before, the most important thing in the next 4 games is to win. Do you sense that they feel that priority that you do?
Yeah, I do. You definitely just have that message, like you said, to echo across the locker room and into meetings and everything, to making sure that, we are approaching it the right way. And, it's definitely new to, a lot of us, kind of just the season that we've kind of had up to this point. So they've also been able to, help the young guys, I feel, as well, because it's definitely not fun. And, you just try to not be discouraged. Obviously, you got to just keep competing and writing it out, and, making sure that, you don't lose sight of, the opportunities that you have each week. So I feel like, we just have, good leadership throughout, and we have really good guys in the locker room who support each other, and, really just try to put their best foot down to win.
We'll take 3 more if you have.
How cool is the opportunity? I know you kind of wish you probably had it with your team, Corner Canyon, and your brother getting to play for, like, on
so
ESPN
jealous.
and national championship type game.
Yeah, I'm super jealous. I kind of see that, my senior year, that was the best team that, the state of Utah's had. So, I just think it's an incredible opportunity for them on a really big stage, playing against an elite opponent. And it's definitely going to be a game that, I hope all you guys are tuned into as well, because it's, I think everybody can look back to their high school experience, and, when you have an opportunity to play for a national championship, I mean, that's just such a cool opportunity for your city, and just that close-knit community. So I can't wait to watch them and, hope for the best.
How much are you able to talk, kind of break it down with your brother a little bit before? I know you're focused on your own game, but
yeah, no, it was cool being able to have a little bit more time to, watch his tape too. And, he's kind of bouncing back and forth between football and basketball right now, but being able to watch like a little bit of high school tape and talk through, some things and some keys for him. And, I know that he's, ecstatic for this game, and, just looking forward to supporting him.
Scott, who posted a video of himself today walking into the facility without any additional aids or gear. Did you get a chance to see him? How good was it to see him without crutches or boot or a scooter?
It was definitely like just a bright spot. I know that like he's obviously thrilled to kind of have that relief. And, I know that his recovery is coming along, really well. So it was good to just see him, come into the facility today with a smile on his face. And he's just a really good guy to have in the locker room. And I know it's been really hard for him these last, these weeks that he's just had, time to recover and whatnot, because his love is football. So I'm just happy that he's able to get back into the facility more, be around the guys, and see him with a smile.